Here we are. Hi, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have to go get my pendulum. I've been getting organized. It's really crazy here because of how busy this week is. I'm sure you guys realize. I've been live Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow, and then Sunday again. So it's just been really back to back, and my team has needed a lot of help. So I've been kind of rushing. Let me go get my pendulum really quick. I'll be right back with you. Right there. Okay. There we are. I'm gonna take a breath, just so I don't like to go right into readings after I've just gotten off calls, and so I'm gonna transition a little bit. How are you guys today? I had a great vacation. It was really nice. It'll be my last vacation for a long while because my doctor said no more travel for us, most likely until the Delta variant is complete because it's causing a lot of problems for immune compromised people. So it'll be my last vacation probably until a year from now. So I really tried to enjoy it. He thinks that we'll be in a better place in 1 to 2 years from now. So I enjoyed every single moment, and thank you for helping me have that time and space. It was really, really beautiful and so much needed. You know what I mean? I think I had a good enough time that'll last me for 2 years. Thank you. This is one of my favorite tank tops. I got this off of Etsy. You know me and supporting other artists. I just love it so much. So yeah, I'm really glad I did, especially because we probably won't be able to travel again for a long time. So it makes me really happy. It makes me look at those pictures with so much gratitude. Unfortunately, 2 years goes by really fast, you know what I mean? So hopefully when the time comes and we're able to travel again, it'll be really fun. Yeah, actually my doctor said that he would have advised us not to go. So, anyway, these are tough times, everybody. Let's see. So I'm reading from the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Linn. I love this so much. One of my favorite decks. I know you guys like it too. And super grateful that you're here today. So let's just ask our spirit guides to come closer to be good guides for our sacred wisdom today, right? I'm going to ask my guides to help me be a good, clear, and open channel for the wisdom that wants to come through today. And 2 years will go by before you know it. I'm hoping somehow we can get to Denver. It's not looking like it, but I am really hoping so. So greetings to you in Oklahoma and everywhere. And let's see what wisdom wants to come through for you guys today. Super excited. Okay, Miss Jade said, I would love a reading of guidance. Let's see where we're going with Miss Jade. I would love a reading of guidance with relationship and financial stability with my business. Those are good, big questions. If you're feeling called, thank you in advance. Hey, darling, how are you? So JJJ, let's see what the cards want to tell you about relationship and finances, which of course we know are the two most important things in our lives usually. Let's see what's coming through for you for JJJ. It's throwing cards around, Jade, is what it's doing. That's always exciting. Well, this one's jumping out. Let's see what it says. Gateway card for you, Jade. Reminds me of Utah. One of my favorite places in the United States is Utah. People who haven't been to the U.S. sometimes aren't familiar with Utah. Utah is just one big vortex after another. So this is the Gateway card. Let me see what it says for you. It's talking about the Enchanted Valley. There are places on the planet where the veil between the physical realms and the mystical dimensions is especially thin. I believe that's true. These places are called portals, vortices, or spirit gateways. you're in a portal place. Let me listen for just a second, Jade. You're in a transition. It's a big transition. You're in a liminal space. Have you been with me, Jade, through my teaching about liminal space? I've been talking about it for a few years, but sometimes people are newer or they haven't heard me talk about it, so I don't like to assume. The liminal space is a concept that comes to us from anthropology, but it describes this idea of like not quite being here, but not quite being there. It's like between here and there. And for me, those are actually like portal places. Those are little openings in the energy field that are very fertile for growth. But the problem, Jade, is that it can feel like we're not making progress. So from a spirit side, we're making huge progress when we're in these portals. From a human side, it looks like I'm not doing anything. Is that where you are right now? Trust that you're making more progress than is visible to you, Jade, because you are. And you'll see the fruits of this labor into how long, Spirit? 2024 from now. So whatever this is, wherever you are in this kind of liminal space, there's a doorway opening, but you may not see the full fruits of that labor for even another year or two. Try to enjoy it. I know it's weird to say that, but I'm, as your older sister, some of you, you know, I sometimes have to tell you, like, when we think we're not making progress, it's like we're in this little zone where we can't make physical progress, but we're making lots of spiritual progress. And we have to count that as just as significant. Thank you, Sherry Herring. It was really beautiful to see you. I'm grateful. Grateful to you. Christiana said, I just registered my trade name for my healing business. I would love a reading if called. Let's go in there, cutie pie. Congratulations for registering your name. When I registered Sage Goddess, I didn't know I was registering a business name because I didn't know I was starting a business. And I always look back and like kind of horrified because I didn't check to see if anybody else was using Sage Goddess, which they weren't, thankfully, but like I didn't do any of that. So good on you for like actually knowing what you're doing. I thought I was just selling something to my friends, so I didn't think I needed a business name. So it sounds like you're being more deliberate about it than I was. Which is great. I mean, you should be. I just was like, I was kind of asked backwards in how I did everything with Sage Goddess. So, Christiana, let's see what's coming up for your business and your expansion. This is a great sign. I love this for you. If I pulled this card for myself, I would be super excited. So I'm going to be excited for you. Thriving. Not just surviving, darling. But going big. And why not? Listen for a second. So here's what's interesting about this for you, Christiana. Spirit is saying that they were on you to do this before. So it's been a little bit of a long time coming. Is that true? They're really happy to see you taking this step. You're supported. And, okay, next new moon. What is the next new moon? I don't always know these things off the top of my head. Next new moon would be... I don't want to take too much time away from your readings, but you need to look up the next new moon. I want to get you the exact date. You need to set an intention around exactly where this is going to go. There are some parts of this you've been really intentional about, and the spirit guides are like celebrating that with you, and the timing feels really good. They keep saying yes, 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 she's going to grow, grow, grow. But you need to give them some more guidance about how this is going to happen, what it's going to look like, what you really want. Don't leave the details unfinished. Do you know what I mean? don't know if this makes sense to you. There's some details you need to fill in for the universe. Take some time to do it. If I was, of course, hey Ginny, were you there for class? We opened the Lionsgate together actually in class on Monday. So yeah, so if you missed class on Monday, you should go watch it. We actually, because 26 is the opening, and I did a ceremony with you guys on Monday for that. Try to have fun with this. The opening of Lionsgate and you setting your intentions and like feeling into all of this. Like try to make it, if I was coaching you and I was there with you in person, I would like sit you down and almost make a party out of this. Like how exciting is this time where you get to kind of nail down the details and articulate to the universe what you want. So I'm not there with you, but make it a party. Call it a visioning party. Okay, good. Yeah, so make it a visioning party for all the details of everything that you want to create. Yeah, and if anybody missed class on Monday, I don't know. It was one of my favorites because the Lionsgate is hugely important to me, and I had never had a chance to open the Lionsgate with my students. So if you missed it, I always tell you, who cares? Like you can do class anytime. But Monday's class is kind of time sensitive because the Lionsgate's only open until August 12th. So if you want to experience me opening it with you, I would do that class sometime this week, and then I'll close the Lionsgate with you on August 12th. But make it a party. That was a good one, wasn't it? Okay, let's see. Yeah, seriously, I wish I could be there with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'd bring the champagne for your planning party. But you know what? Do it, and I'll be there in spirit. All right. Yeah, Janine said, please send prayers to the little bird that had an accident in the window, and she's nursing it back to health. So we're going to send all of our love to that little bird. Yeah, I had my own sadness yesterday. I found out that the landscapers at our building ripped all of my white sage plants. A lot of you know this because you follow my Facebook. But my dad planted white sage for me when I moved from San Francisco to Los Angeles about 7.5 years ago. And the landscapers thought they were dead and they pulled them all out and threw them away. Yesterday was a hard day for me because of that. So anyway, if you can send love to those little plants too, somewhere they don't have their root systems or love anymore. So they're going back to a source, and that they were planted with a lot of love. So any thoughts you can send to those plants today? I feel like they can feel it. It's amazing how we take care of each other, plants, animals, humans. All right, Chrissy Whistler said, I did a terrifying thing. I just started a new business supporting parents and their kids. That's awesome. She said, sharing what I've learned and telling my story, any messages from the guides. I'm so excited for you, Chrissy. Let's do this. Let's see what the cards have to say. Chrissy. I haven't had the heart to tell my dad yet about my plans. I'll tell him this weekend. It's just too hard yesterday. I've been so busy this week, I haven't had time to I don't want to cry, Here's an interesting card for Chrissy and the work that she's doing. Patience card. Let's see what it says here for patience. It says, water represents our emotions, our feelings, our subconscious, and our dreams. When the water becomes condensed as fog, we can't see clearly. Fog occurs when the air cools to a point at which it cannot hold all the water vapor it contains, and so it condenses. We can't see what's ahead. And things that look one way in the fog will look a different way in clarity. Isn't that interesting? This may be about your... Look at how you're describing, just from a coaching perspective. I did a terrifying thing. I started a new business. So maybe what this card represents, because energetically it feels like you're still settling into the idea of doing what you're doing, and it feels kind of big and overwhelming. But once you get more comfortable with what you're doing, and once you have more clarity about the who, what, when, where, why, how, you won't feel this sense of it won't be terrifying to you. It'll be exciting to you, right? That's when people tell me something's terrifying and when people tell me something's exciting, that tells me they've crossed a threshold from fear to excitement. And so maybe that's what this is. For right now, it's terrifying and overwhelming, maybe, but once you cross this threshold of clarity about what you're doing, who you're doing it for, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, which often just takes time. And so maybe that's why the patience card is coming up. I think you'll be much more excited about the opportunities. And if it's coming through you, it's coming through you for a reason, which is always an invitation to let go of fear. Right? Spirit doesn't give us stuff that we're not capable of managing. Not really, in my experience. So maybe this is that opportunity for you to move from the fog to deep, deep, deep clarity and to get excited about it. I like that for you. Well, and being seen is the scariest part of everything. I mean, I have to say, like, when I started Sage Goddess, I was 36, about to turn 37. And I thought I was grown up. I had no idea. I mean, when you start something, and especially if it's public, you're going to have the highs and the lows, right? The lows are people judging you, people not understanding you, people not caring, people being unkind, people being selfish, right? The highs are feeling aligned with your purpose and being excited about what's possible. So you'll as an entrepreneur, you're always going to ride these, like, oh, this is awesome, oh, this is awful, oh, this is awesome, oh, this is awful. But as long as you're doing something that is aligned to your soul's purpose, that makes the highs sweeter and the lows easier to navigate, if that makes sense. Yeah. I had no idea. I thought I was all grown up. But you know what's funny is, what I realize now, I really had no idea about people. Even though I was a professor, I really didn't understand the human psyche then the way I do now. People's shadows and lights and thoughts and desires and their intentions and their capacity. Like, I really didn't know. And so that's been the biggest gift of SG, is like, I've really learned a lot about people, for better and worse. And you will too through this process. It'll be a gift to you in a lot of different ways, right? Awful, horrible, awful, horrible. If I ever do teach a class about entrepreneurism, that'll be my first lesson. How do you ride the wave? You'll have good days and you'll have challenging days, but at the end of the day, it's worth it, because this is why you're here. All right, Marie Garay says, can I please have a first-time reading? Would love to see what the guides need you to know. Here we go for Marie. It's my mom's name. Hi, Marie. How are you? Marie, Marie, Marie. Purification. Feels really aligned to everything I've been talking about, because purification is this idea that everything can be cleansed and renewed through clarity, through prayer. There's 1,000 ways to purify the energies, right? You need to take some time to clear your energy, clear the field, clear your mind. That's what the guides are saying this is about. There's just a lot. Your energy field feels like the 405 freeway in Los Angeles. There's just a lot there. And so sometimes what we have to do is just make space, move some of the cars off your freeway, move some of the clouds out of the way, and create an opening. It's busy around you and it feels a little congested, but it's not, there's nothing wrong with that. We all have these moments where we need to purify, cleanse, renew. So, and this is another one where you can make a whole ceremony out of this. It's first harvest on Sunday, Lammas, right? I'll be with you at 6 p.m. Like, that's a perfect time to stop and say, what doesn't need to go with me into the next cycle? What was important for this cycle, this harvest, this season, but maybe isn't as important for me after I leave this cycle? And give yourself permission to let go. I think of it as like composting. You know what I mean? It's like, this has been really beautiful and helpful for me, but now I'm ready to put it aside so I can take bigger, brighter next steps, right? Yeah. Just cleanse and clear. My favorites on the herbal side are white sage, palo santo, and copal. And my favorite stone for cleansing and purification is shungite and selenite. So those are my kind of stone and herb and oil recommendations for you. All right, Elsie said, I would love a card before I return to teaching in 2 weeks. And I can't be here live. Also, my birthday is coming up. Elsie, I want to read for you, but I need a name because it's hard for me to get into your energy field without a name. So can you guys track it for me? Whenever you ask for a reading, if your handle is L or C or Rainbow Monkey Cat or anything like that, please make sure you give me a first name. As soon as can you guys monitor, because as soon as Elsie gives me a name, I would like to do a reading, but I do need a first name for my readings. Yeah. So Elsie, let me know what first name to use to call your energy into the field, and I'll be right back with you. Maria, Sunday's Rhythm. Hi. She says, hi, darling Athena. Hi, darling, to you. She said, my name is Maria. I've been going through some incredible energy shifts that I've been having a hard time understanding. I would love a reading today. I see you, Maria. Let's go in. Let's see what's going on for you. Maria. It's a card from earlier. That happens sometimes in our readings if you're new, where like that there'll be a card that I'll pull for one person, and then I'll pull it again like 2 cards later, and I'll pull it again 3 cards later, and it ends up being a card for the collective, the Thriving card. Which is nice ahead of this. So you're talking about energetic shifts that you've been having a hard time understanding. Let me listen for a second, Maria. There's someone from your past. Let me not make it personal. There's some energies in your past. It's a cycle that's completing. And this had to finish. Guys are saying you know what this is. This had to finish before you could move into the next cycle that you're going into. And that may be part of what wasn't clear to you or wasn't easy to understand, like, why is this happening, or why am I not making progress, or, you know. But sometimes there's like and this feels like it's attached to a person, but it could be attached to a relationship and not a person. There's an energy from the past that had to be reconciled or cleared in order for you to make progress now. This is clearing out now, the guys are saying. June, July, August, September, October. Looks like Samhain, is that right? Yeah. Samhain time, these energies will be processed, Maria. So where does that put us? So we are now at pretty much August 1st, all of August, all of September, all of October. By the end of October, so 3 months from now, I think you're going to be at a different place. Watch for the signs of that kind of traction and movement, because I think you're going to see a little bit of, I call it the catapult. You know, it's like the universe, when you haven't been making progress for a little while, and all of a sudden it just kind of boosts you forward. But you had to go through this little part of the cycle in order for this little energy patch to clear out for you. Does that make sense? Okay, Elsie is Lori. Yay! Okay, good. Let me go back. Where are you, Elsie? I'm trying to find you. Okay, good. And I'll tell you something. Not everybody, by the way, Elsie, who reads for people needs a name. It's just my thing with my spirit guides, because I say your name 3 times to bring your energy into the field so I can access you. So it's my thing, and a lot of readers don't need it, and I've never understood why, but names are very important for me when I'm reading. So thank you for that. So Lori. Let's see what's coming up for you. It's a beautiful card. Forgiveness. Look at that. Look at her hands. Reaching toward that crescent moon. It's a new beginning. Let's see what it says. As the sun sinks behind the horizon, and the reds and oranges turn to the lavenders and deep purples of the ensuing night. The day is complete. Sunset signifies that a new cycle has begun. As each star emerges in the velvet sky, we enter a realm of the dark unknown where magic and even the mystery of life seem to shimmer above us. It is human to want to hold on to the past. However, there can be times when we are carrying so much of the past that we can't see the present. The past does not need to equal the future. Just because you had a pattern or a challenge doesn't mean it needs to reoccur. The key is to be willing and ready to simply and cleanly let go of the hold that the past has on you. The past is now gone and it's okay to let it go. Feels like permission, doesn't it? Yeah. What isn't going into second harvest with you, Lori, that you need to say goodbye to now? Yeah, it's a big question for all of us. The harvests are the times of reconciliation. The harvests are the times when we look and say, I wanted this crop to grow, but it didn't. I wanted this relationship to flourish, but it didn't. I wanted this, whatever it is, fill in the blank to happen, but it didn't. And a big part of healing is making peace with that and then giving it back to the earth. Because when we hold on to too much, we don't allow space, for what wants to come through. Energy is infinite, but then it's finite too. You know what I mean? So what do you need to let go of in order to make space? And what are you making space for? What's your intention or your heart's desire? That's the longest question. That's why first harvest is so beautiful and it's so difficult at the same time. All of us have it. I have things this year that I thought were going to happen, or I thought we'd be in a different place with the pandemic by now. I thought I'd be able to see my friends. I thought different things were going to happen, and they're not happening. So I'm having to compost all of that and my disappointment and a lot of different things so that I don't carry those energies into the rest of the year. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it is for you. It could be a lot of different things, but I'm doing my own first Lammas, first harvest sort of composting of everything I thought was going to happen so that I don't hold on to that, and then it becomes dead weight. You know what I mean? It sits on you. It's kind of heavy and it hangs. So I think if we can all collectively let go of disappointments or expectations, because the universe doesn't do well with expectation. The universe invites you always to be here now with what is, right? I don't know if that resonates with you, but I'm composting a lot this week. Emotionally, spiritually, I'm putting a lot in my compost bin, and I would encourage you to do the same. And it's bittersweet, and then it's not. I mean, I honestly am like, get that shit off and fling it somewhere, right? Like, if you can get excited about it and go, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds of energy weight right now, just getting this shit off of me and throwing it somewhere, right? It's not a sad thing. It's like, get off me. I'm glad this is helpful, but it's really true. Let that shit go. Everything's happening exactly as it's supposed to. So pick that shit up and throw it out in the compost bin and move that on, right? It's like, okay, so shit didn't happen the way we thought it was going to. Great, let's move on. Next. That's my favorite word, is next. What else? Where are we going now? All right, universe, you didn't want that? Great. Next. Get the F off of me. But some people are like, oh, I'm so sad because I thought this was going to happen. I thought that was going to happen. It's like, fuck, it didn't happen. You know what? Sorry, move on, right? Okay, Nancy Sue, she said, Athena, will you please give me a reading if spirit guides you? I'm really struggling with a long-time family issue, which is wearing me down. Oh, honey. If there's anything I know about Nancy Sue, it's about dealing with long-time family issues. So let's get in there and see what the cards have to say for Nancy Sue. Nancy Sue, Nancy Sue, Nancy Sue. And keep your sense of humor. This shit is funny, man. This life, this human stuff, it's really funny. We can laugh about it. I laugh about everything, because what else are you gonna do? So Nancy C, you got the gateway card. This is the portal card, right? You seeing the repetition today? This is another card that's come up a second time now. So it means whenever that happens in Soul Shift, it usually means there's more than one of you who's dealing with whatever this is. Okay, you know what they're saying, Nancy Sue? I don't think this is just for you either, but it is for you. So, but if you're watching and you're not Nancy Sue, maybe listen and see if if it resonates with you. You know what? This is the price sometimes that we pay as the family healers. I'm serious. In my family, there's very few of us who've said, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll look, I'll work, I'll transmute, I will raise the vibration, I will do the shadow work, I will go within, I will hold the space, I will resist judgment. The pendulum is like, this is the price we sometimes pay as the family healers. You're good at it. Here's the thing though, and this is interesting, the spirit guides are saying, but you're not doing this alone. When you feel overwhelmed, it's time to ask for help. This isn't something you can solve or resolve by yourself. You need your spirit guides. But you have the tools you need to navigate this. It isn't all your responsibility. But you are one of the great seers in your family line. And I think most of us look at that and go, you know, I still would rather be one of the ones who's here to heal. Fix isn't the right word, heal, resolve, hold space for, raise the vibration. That's you. Ooh, this is interesting. Don't overdo it. What the message I'm getting for you is sometimes we can want to help so much that we sort of bend over backward, right? And it's too much, right? We do need other people in our lives and in our families, our constellations, to lean in and do their part too. Don't do other people's parts for them. That is not your responsibility. Everybody has a part to play. Anybody else a family healer? I know, Susie Blam. I know. Wouldn't it? Do I have a favorite deck for shadow work? No. I wish I did. Does anybody else have a favorite deck for shadow work? You guys are deckaholics like me. What's your favorite shadow deck, you guys? Because maybe I need to go buy it. Yeah, I'm glad it's helpful for you, Nancy Sue, because I really do see you. I wish I had like a much better answer for you, but that little last note about don't do other people's work for them, that felt important for you. You know what I mean? What's a shadow deck that you guys love? Would you mind sharing your recommendations? I would just really appreciate it, because I don't have a great one for shadow work. All right, Katie C says, okay, me next, please. Let's go. Let's see what's coming up for you. There you are, Katie C. Katie. Let's see what's coming up for you today. It's really nice to be with you guys today. There's a nice flow of energy. It's beautiful. It's funny, it's been foggy here for a couple days. It's clear for the first time. I feel like I've got this new clarity and out of fog. Ooh, look at this card. Reminds me of my mom. Her eyes are two different colors. My mom's a trip. She's the only person I've ever known in person who has two different colored eyes, and when you look at her, like sometimes you're like looking at the two different eyes because they're so different. It's disconcerting when people have two different colored eyes. So Katie, it says, before the first snow, The earth is dark and cold. However, when the first snow arrives, the darkness is replaced by a purity that is light and bright. In the sunshine, the individual snowflakes atop the snowdrift sparkle with crystalline light. Harsh sounds are muffled. No matter what's happened to you in the past, everything can be fresh and new again. The purity of your soul is shining through everything you encounter, and you're entering a period of grace. Open your heart and know that the best is yet to be. And of course, that's what's happening in alchemy right now in Soul Shift, right? Like, we're entering the phase of integration, which happens after the phase of purification, right? We've cleansed and purified and broken everything down, and now we're heading into integration, putting the pieces back together. Wholeness is the word they're giving me to you, to give to you, Katie. Wholeness. You need to become whole. Body, mind, and spirit. They're talking about internal warfare. Right? Like part of you not engaging with or loving enough the other parts. And so they're literally showing me like the two halves of you coming together like this to create a new and complete version of you, a new whole version of you. And that to me is what integration looks like, right? Wild Unknown Archetypes deck is good for shadow. Okay. Alexis, would you mind writing some of these down and having Claire order them for me? I don't have a good shadow deck, and I need a couple, so I'm gonna have Alexis kind of keep track of this. Might be good, Alexis, to share this list in our Facebook group too. Like, this is what our members recommend for shadow decks. Just because I don't have good recommendations, and it looks like they do. So I'll have Alexis put this together for us. Jessica Wagner said, I'm stuck in Soul Shift. Did you get our message, by the way? Alexis and I both put our thoughts together to send you a message. Did you get it? I don't know if you got it or not. She said, do I need to finish something, go back and redo something? Did I miss something? Do I need a break? Is it something else? Anyway, if you haven't gotten the message yet, stand by. Because Sabrina sent your note to me, and Alexis, I sent an audio version back to Sabrina to send to you, and then Alexis was sharing her thoughts too. So if you haven't heard back from my team, let me know, and I'll make sure they respond to you with our thoughts before the end of the day. But let's see what the cards have to say for Jessica, and I'll give you my kind of a quicker 2 cents here than I am sending to you. They're all repeat cards today. I will tell you, I am pulling from a 52 card deck. So the fact that I'm only pulling up like 2 or 3 cards tells me we've got some common themes happening in Soul Shift right now. Now, purification is simply, for me, one of the stages of the alchemical process. So I don't want to be redundant with what you're going to see in my message back to you. Let me listen to what the guides are saying first. You're deep in the process. And there's a little bit in alchemy, Jess, this is what the guides are saying. In alchemy, there's a fight or flight at a certain point that we have to push through. Like, oh, this is hard, I probably should go. Or this is hard, or I'm not sure I'm in the right place. Or this is hard, and maybe I want to stop. It's kind of like when you're working out, when you're exercising, and you get to that point where the muscles are really working, and you're like, whoa, I gotta stop this. And you can stop. I mean, it's not like anything's gonna happen if you stop. But sometimes if you do stop in the middle of that process, when you're in the juice of it, you don't experience the release that comes in the next phase. Does that make sense? It's like, but it's a common reaction to want to eject when you're in the deepest parts of the alchemical process and everything is murky and kind of thick and dense, and you're in I don't know if you remember that teaching, but what I call the selva oscura, which comes from Dante's Inferno and Italian literature. But Dante writes about the selva oscura, which is this dark forest, and when we go in there, we think we're never going to get out, and all this, but you have to like move through the dark forest to get through to the next phase, which is light and clarity. So I think you're in the selva oscura. I think you're in the dark forest, and And that's a phase everybody has to work through. So what a lot of people do is they will stop and pause and go back and then come back to where they were and move forward. So I think ultimately it's up to you if you want to, take a break this year and come back to the work later. I think that can be helpful. I think if you want to pause and not take a break, but just sit with it and take a week or two and kind of see if you can move through the process. But it's a natural part of the process. When I was first talking to you about alchemy in January, I tried to explain this process to you by saying there are going to be points where it's really hard this year. And it's been difficult for me too, where I'm just like, this is hard. And no matter how many times you've done shadow work, which is really what, the middle phases of alchemy are, no matter how many times you've done this work, it doesn't get easier. And there's always more to clear. There's always more to clean. I've been doing shadow work for 25 years. Literally. And I still have shit to do because I'm still in the world. I still deal with human beings. I still, have a family. Like, stuff comes up, and so we have to go back and re-alchemize and re-alchemize and re-alchemize. But the question is, what kind of space and time do you need to be able to do that? And then stay tuned, because if you haven't received a message already, we have one coming to you on the way. If you didn't get it, maybe check your Alexis. Maybe will know if it's already been sent, and then check your spam. Maybe it didn't reach you for some reason. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, Jalen Reed. I would love a reading just for guidance. I'm open to what comes up and any guidance you may have. Let's see what's coming up for you today, Jalen. The guides are talking about hesitation. It's really interesting that the card is the action card. Are you hesitating? Why are you hesitating? Hesitation is an action born of the energy of fear, right? So when we go to do something and we don't do it, it's because something inside of us is like, but, what if? And we do the whole what if thing. Something you're hesitating on you need to push through it and push past it. So ask yourself, if I acknowledge my fear and my hesitation and really look at it for what it is, what is that voice? Have you guys read the book, The Untethered Soul? Part of me wants to teach it to you because a lot of you don't have time to read. It won't take you long to read it. You can get it on Amazon. Do you want the upshot of it though? It would be good for you, Jalen. It would be good for you too. Those of you who are, in some of the shadow phases and trying to push through. What the Untethered Soul says, if you're open to me teaching you for a second, are you seriously reading it right now? Seriously? What are the chances of that? Can I tell you in 2 seconds what the book says? I can save you $15 on Amazon. Here's what the book says. You have an absolute terrorist asshole living in your head. And most of us would probably have a restraining order against that voice if we could. Because it's an absolute asshole terrorist. That little voice that's like, you could have done that, you should have done that, why are you doing that? You would absolutely put a restraining order on that person that talks to you all the time. But because it's in your head, you learn to live with it, and then you start trusting it. I'm not kidding. And so you need to start talking back to the voice. I've started. No, it's not. Untethered Soul is not by Brene Brown. Who's the author? It's not Richard Rohr. Who wrote Untethered Soul? It's downstairs in my library. Anyway, it's an absolute asshole in your head, and you need to stop listening to it. It's not true. It is not accurate. It's not a super smart voice. It's like just a shitty ass coach. And so I've taught my kids. I read passages from the book to the kids while we were on vacation. And my son was like, oh my God, that voice, like I hear it all the time. Like you coulda, you woulda, you shoulda, look at you. You didn't even do a very good job. You're not even a good parent. You're not a good baseball player. And it's like, shut up, right? Like, let's get in control of the thought. It is Michael Singer. Anyway, that's the upshot of The Untethered Soul. Get the book, read it to your kids, especially if they're teenagers like mine. My kids were like, oh, this is so good to know because I have that voice and it's constantly telling me, like, right? It's an asshole in your head. And we have to learn to distinguish between that voice and our higher self, which is not that voice. Your higher self is full of compassion. Your higher self is not sitting there trying to judge you every time you turn around, right? Terrorist. That's my favorite part of the book, when he says you would, absolutely restrain that voice if you could. It's like the worst friend you ever had. All right, Peggy Landis. Go get the book. I mean, if you're a reader, go get the book. I recommend it. Peggy Landis would love a reading for guidance. Is there anything I need to know or do that I'm missing? Let's see what's coming up. Peggy. Once that voice figures out you're not going to listen anymore, it starts to retreat. It's a really powerful thing. Here's the action card. Maybe the action is to go and get the book. Yeah, it was funny. I was reading the book. I was finishing the book on the plane, and the lady next to me on the plane, she like tapped on my shoulder and she's like, "That's a really good book." I was like, "It is. It's a really good book." Okay, for Peggy. Have you ever been outdoors just before a storm? You feel energized and alive, maybe even a little high, as your body is being fed energy and vitality from the storm. The energy is building and your body can feel it. Do you feel energy building, Peggy Landis? Let me listen to the guides for a second. This is a year of rest for you a little bit, 2021. It's not as active as next year, 2022, they're saying. There will be a lot more action and movement next year. Maybe even a physical move. At least a little bit of travel, I think. So what you need to do now is make the most of this time of, they're saying rest is not the right word. It's like stillness though. Do you know what I mean? Like there's, in some places in your life, there isn't as much activity as there will be next year. So enjoy it now through the holidays. Use the opportunity to be reflective and mindful. And yeah. This is the Sacred Destiny Oracle from Denise Linn, Linn. Yeah, the voice in your head's not a friend to you. And once you realize that, then you can talk to it and say, you know what? That's enough, thank you. Have a seat. Right? Is it really available full length on YouTube? That's really cool. Thank you, Lori, for letting us know that, by the way. How fun. If I'd known that, I probably, because I like to listen to books, I probably would have done that instead of buying it. Yeah. Leslie Furchow, I would feel blessed for any of your wisdom. Let's see what's coming up for you, sweet Leslie. Leslie. I think Michael describes the voice in your head as a maniac. Right? He doesn't call it an asshole, he calls it a maniac. Oh, look, Leslie, look at the card you got. Little cutie. Delight. For Leslie. So what are you doing for fun? Did it feel selfish to you to think about that? You need to take the time, Leslie, for some joy and some pleasure and some ease. You need to take that time, even if it makes you feel a little guilty to do that. It will replenish you, is what the guides are saying. So take every opportunity you can. Sometimes I feel guilty when I do things just for the fun of it, because my time is very limited. So it's like, really, should I be doing this right now? But it's like, yeah. Looks like your bird friend, I like that. It's pretty, right, Susie? Super pretty. Little sparrow. Little sparrow. Okay, Victoria G. No, you stepped away, but I did not read for you yet, but here I am, darling. Hi, Victoria. Victoria. Let's see what's coming up for you today. Is it the 4th time or the 5th time today that the action card has come up? I think it's because Mercury's in Leo and it's just like, you know, do it, say it, get it. I don't know how I feel about that. This is, again, a storm clouds gathering. Have you been outside during a storm? Do you feel the energy of the land? Storms can be disruptive and cause damage, but without them, the planet wouldn't be renewed and replenished. When you understand the deeper energy of storms and embrace that energy within your body and your life, then you're poised to take action when it's called for. Did you really hear that? When you understand the deeper energy of storms and can embrace that energy within your body and your life, then you are always poised to take action when it's called for. Don't hesitate, face your fears, do it anyway. The rhyme and the reason is what the guides are saying, Victoria, to me, for you. Making sense of what's happened, why it's happened, when it's happened. It will make sense to you, is what they're saying. Can you learn to look at the challenges of life as gifts and opportunities? That sometimes we have to go through a storm in order to discover, in order to clear out, in order to purify, in order to make space, right? That was pretty deep. I'm glad you said in that wisdom. A lot of us look at storms and chaos and change and all of that, and we resist it because we want ease and flow, and we think when things are hard that maybe we're off our course or whatever. But what if sometimes things that are hard are actually teachers, right? These moments when the pathway isn't clear and we have to struggle a little bit. What if all of that is inviting us to action, right? That's right, Christina G. Thank you, Judith Walters. I really appreciate it. I was prepared to go over today, but I really appreciate it. That was a big one. Julie says, I've been dealing with a physical issue for months. It has taken all I have to stay positive. Hey, River, darling. Let's see what's coming up in the cards for you. I take this as a very good sign. I take it as a very good sign for you. The energy feels good. The guides are showing me an open gate. You've been with me for a long time, so you know. When they show me that, there's change coming, and it's usually in the form of relief. So what has this pain taught you that you didn't know? I know it's fucking shitty, so I'm not like putting rainbows on it or, you know what I mean? But what has it taught you, this challenge? As soon as you answer that question, the shift will begin. I wish pain was not such a powerful teacher, but it is. And it always has a lesson, you know, a curriculum. It's a shitty curriculum to stay in gratitude. Great Spirit, my sister declares today that her lesson of this challenge has been to stay in gratitude. I pray today that you see her learning. Amen, aho, and so it is. Me too, by the way. You know that, Julie. I mean, I have to be grateful for my own physical challenges because they're constantly reminding me and teaching me, but it's like, oof, wish there was a different way to learn, right? Okay, I'm going to do one more personal reading and then I'm going to do a collective reading. Was it for you too? I know it sucks. But you know, I talk to my pain and it really helps. I'm really lucky because I've had a kind of a pain-free period recently, and that's not common for me. I normally have pain somewhere in my body, but I talk to my pain like, all right, shoulder, left shoulder, what are we doing today, you know? Okay. Where are you taking me now, Spirit? Rochelle. Would love a reading, had a deep lineage healing on plant medicine, still processing, would love some guidance. Yeah, you're deep in integration, aren't you? I can feel it. Hold on, Rochelle. I miss you, Rochelle. You and I are so close. I wish I could see you. Once this is all through, maybe we can do a plant journey together. I would really love that. Rochelle's amazing. If you haven't, you know, I'm blessed because I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you in person, and so, you know, sometimes there are people you take classes with online and you never meet them in person, but I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you, and you stay with me, you know? So anyway, Rochelle, let's see what you need to know for your integration of this healing, of this lineage energy. It's beautiful, isn't it? I like that card for you. Seed protection. Guardian Oak. That's what that tree is. Of course it's an oak tree. The oak tree is associated with wisdom, strength, and protection. One of the most remarkable things about the oak is that from the smallest acorn, a powerful tree of enormous size can spring forth and live for hundreds of years. The roots of the oak go as deep into the earth as the branches reach into the sky, inch for inch. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I mean, what a lineage card, right? The oak is honored for its expanse, its nobility, its endurance, its tendency to attract lightning, confirmed to our ancient ancestors that it represented life force, vitality, and strength. Many cultures revere the oak and honor the living spirit within it. They believe there's a mystic doorway in the oak tree through which you can travel to inner worlds. Maybe you should work with some oak medicine. You are protected. You can weather anything. Your roots go deep. You're brave. You can survive anything. You are the leader. You have great authority. Wisdom is expanding within you. Others can sense it. This card is also meant to take good care of you, your home, your loved ones. Well, I would say your work was successful. I mean, you like listen to everything I'm just telling you right now, and it's like, holy shit. It's really sweet when I'm hearing from the guides. It was time for your roots to be as deep as your branches. Michelle. I don't know why that makes me want to cry. It was time for your roots to be as deep as your branches. And now they are. So where will you go from here? Where will you go from here? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That was beautiful. Oak is supposed to age wine. Yeah, one of my favorite whiskeys is aged in oak caskets. Is that what they call it? You know? Yeah, it's good stuff. It was time. Your branches can go farther now because your roots are deep enough. I know, I want to cry with you. I wish you were here. Anyway, I love you. Glad that resonated with you. All right, Natalie. Let me do a quick birthday reading for Natalie. I was going to go to the collective card, but let me do a quick one for Natalie. You're going to be my quickie, darling. And then I'm going to do the collective card. For Natalie, Natalie, Natalie. It's her birthday today, my Leo sister. Right before Llamas. During the Lionsgate. Girl, you got a powerful birthday and a half. Barrels, that's right. Thank you for that. Casks, I think is what they call it, not casket. All right. So for Natalie, 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 what's your birthday card? What's your card for the whole year ahead? Let's see what's coming up for you. One step at a time. Patience. It says, in dense fog, it's best to be quiet and still. For now, don't go forward and wait. It's hard to see what lies ahead, and things may not be as they seem. Things that seem one way, in fact, can be completely different. Be patient. The truth will emerge. If you can wait long enough, your dreams and inner yearnings can come to fruition. Listen to your intuition and pay attention to random thoughts. You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing for you to be patient, but I'm hearing a reason. For you, it's because there's a time coming, 12 to 18 months, that's how long it will be, where it's going to be a lot. Boom, 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 boom. And you won't, and the pendulum is like, you won't have the luxury of patience. So take this time. Let this be a time that's a little bit slower. There'll be a time when you wish you had more of the slowness. So don't rush it. And again, they keep saying it's 12 to 18 months where you literally will be like boom, 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 boom. And it's a lot of good stuff coming. So it's all good news, I feel like. Doors open, money's coming, like I feel a lot of stuff, but I feel like you're going to be breathless. You know what I mean? Take a breath, make a wish, and get ready. And if things are a little slow right now, let it be, you know what I mean? Yeah, Christina's an Aries. I'm not. My Mars is an Aries, but I'm, double fire. It's like, wait for what? All right, so those of you who are here, I'm going to pull a collective card now. I have to go get ready for our class, which starts at 4. I went a little bit over time today, but we needed a few extra minutes from Monday. So I'm going to pull a collective card. If I haven't pulled for you yet, this will be for you. And again, thank you, Natalie, for spending part of your birthday with me. It's always a big deal, especially for Leos. Leos, like, if we spend part of our birthday with you, it's a big thing. So, yeah. Oh, interesting, Tiffany. I like that too. Cheers, you guys. All right, so for everyone who's here, including you, Catherine Romack, I see you. I'm holding space, you guys, for you. It's not an easy time right now for anybody. Have patience. Humans don't know what's happening to them right now. It's normal humans. They don't understand. Yeah, so just be patient with people and energy and timing, and it'll be okay. Take a breath. So a card for the collective for Soul Shift, Soul Shift, Soul Shift, a card to guide us through the final week of July as we head toward first harvest on Sunday. What do we need to know that we don't know today for Soul Shift, Soul Shift, Soul Shift? I love that this is our collective card. It's hard for people right now, you guys. It's hard for everybody right now. Anybody who tells you it's not hard for them is telling you part of their story, but not all of it. When they're honest, they'll tell you it's really fucking hard. I'm telling you that because I'm in touch with a million people around this beautiful world, and all I hear all day long, every day, is this is hard, how am I going to make it, help, help, help. And it's more intense than it's been in the whole 10 years I've been doing this work. And these are people who seem perfectly strong and courageous on the outside, and on the inside they're like, shit, 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 right? So here's what it says about this card. Wildflower Wonderland. Wildflowers are not intentionally planted. I want to read the whole thing to you, if that's okay. I know we're over time, but let me read this to you. Wildflowers are not intentionally planted. They are untamed, natural, and free. Their fragrance calls bees to pollinate them, so the seeds are created to continue the cycles of life. These kinds of natural flowers don't try to be profuse or beautiful, they just are, without struggle or worry. They are abundant without any effort. Prosperity is your birthright, and the grand profusion of a field of untamed flowers reminds you that a windfall is coming. It's simply a matter of aligning your vibration and frequency to that which you seek to manifest. Okay? The sacred landscape wants you to know everything is blossoming in your life. Open yourself to receive it. Abundance, fulfillment, and prosperity are ready to be activated. Life wants you to prosper. You're moving toward an outpouring of money, energy, time, or love, and the opportunities are limitless. However, you must take action in the direction of your dreams. Don't wait for abundance to fall into your lap. Take the steps. Give deeply and fully. Don't hold back. This card reveals that this is a great time to make investments. The more you give with an open heart, the more you'll receive. Be grateful for what you already have, and then even more will flow to you. And I know that can sound really trite, but I believe these things to be true. So, what I'm getting from the spirit guides is a question. If you are really willing to believe right now that abundance is coming your way and that you have the capacity to manifest your dreams, what would that look like? And can you vibrate from that place? Can you shift to that frequency? Even just as an experiment, like what if I decided to vibrate from that place of potential? If instead of fear, instead of lack, instead of anxiety, right? Wildflowers are not intentional. They just bloom. That was good stuff for today. So cheers to Denise Linn and her beautiful deck called the Sacred Destiny Oracle. That's what I read to you from today. I want to thank my guides for helping me be a good channel, and I want to thank your guides for helping me enter your field today too. I know what it looks like too, and I know it's still hard, even though I know exactly what to do and what the benefits are and all of that. There's still moments where I'm like, but I'm tired. It's like, yeah, but there's a wind beneath your wings, you know, if you allow it to be. There is a wind beneath your wings. It's really true. And you're my wildflower. It's a sweet little compliment, isn't it? Like, will you be my wildflower? You guys are my wildflowers. They're always more beautiful, aren't they, the wildflowers, than the flowers we plant with intention. The ones that just come up on their own, they're like, screw it, I'm just going to bloom here or whatever. They're always more beautiful than the intended flowers. Cheers, you guys. I hope today was helpful for you. It was helpful for me, too. I always love the readings. It's one of my favorite things. So it's 3:30, and I will be seeing you at 4 o'clock for session 4 of July. We have class tonight. Tomorrow is Perfume Around the World. So I hope you're joining me for that too. It's going to be a big class. I've been spending the last 3.5 weeks preparing for it. I hope I can do it all in 2.5 hours. And then Sunday is Llamas, so make sure you mark your calendars. Tomorrow is Perfume Around the World, today is Soul Shift Session 4, and then Sunday is Llamas, and we start at 6 p.m. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'll give you a day off. I'll see you guys in about half an hour.